Now, before Robert Pattinson was the Batman, he was something entirely different. He was a certain kind of vampire. What's going on, you guys? James here, and today we're talking all about Robert Pattinson because his name has been in the news lately. I wonder why. It could just be because the Batman trailer dropped over the weekend and it was absolutely fantastic. If you missed my reaction, it's right at the top of the screen. I love him as Bruce Wayne, but we'll talk all about that in a little bit and why he needed to go through those early days of being a vampire to get to become Bruce Wayne. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the big red button below and subscribe to the channel. Tap on that bell as well so you don't miss out on anything new, like some Legend of Korra reactions this week, hopefully some reviews as well, and I have an interview with the director also hoping to drop on the channel this week. I'm super excited, and if you want to see more content like this, guys, let me know in the comments below. Get loud about Robert Pattinson. Do you like him as an actor? Do you like him as Batman? Let me know your thoughts on that too, and smash that like button. Alrighty, guys, well, let's waste no more time and get into why you're here, and that's for the man of the hour, Robert Pattinson. So how did he turn his career around? Well, we gotta go back further than Twilight to 2004's Vanity Fair, a movie starring a lot of amazing actors and actresses, one of them being Reese Witherspoon, and the thing is, Robert Pattinson had one of the biggest roles in the film. Kidding. It was actually an uncredited role. But then you fast forward 4 years to the film that made Robert Pattinson a global sensation, none other than the masterpiece, Twilight. I say that sarcastically because I did watch the first 3 films and they are awful. They're tragic, the writing is terrible, the premise is bad, and Robert Pattinson, well, was kind of labeled because of these movies. But say what you will about Twilight, this is a 5-movie saga that, well, it brought in a lot of money. Its worldwide box office total was more than $9.7 billion. Yeah, that's a lot of green. But outside of the box office total, this did something for Robert Pattinson's career. Robert Pattinson got the short end of the stick because everyone that doesn't know much about the books watched the films and came away saying, well, that dude was just embarrassing. The thing is, Robert Pattinson needed to go through this, and we'll touch up on that in a little bit. So after the Twilight saga ended in 2012, we didn't see Robert Pattinson for nearly 2 years on screen. He ended up taking his next role in a film that is probably one you haven't heard of, The Rover. I mean, heck, even after that, he starred in a David Cronenberg film. You know him, right? Hopefully. But if you haven't heard of some of these movies he did after Twilight, don't worry, you're not in the minority here because they're smaller films. They're indie movies. But this is the time he needed to hone his craft and turn around his career. Now, there is one movie that I did watch with him alongside Charlie Hunnam called The Lost City of Z, and I checked that out at my local library, brought it home, and I thought to myself, this is not the same Robert Pattinson that I saw in Twilight. It's a totally new actor. Heck, if you didn't tell me he started in Twilight, I would have told you you're crazy. Him, a vampire? Get out of here. But no, it's the same actor, just refined. If you haven't seen that movie, I do recommend it. It is a little long, but it is still a great performance by Robert Pattinson and Charlie Hunnam. This then paved the way for Good Time, a movie that I love. It's my favorite Safdie brothers movie. And honestly, when I left the press screening, I was alongside my girlfriend. My jaw was on the ground. I could not believe my eyes. It was one of the best, if not the best performance of the entire year. And then I thought to myself, he's doing something special here because even though he's starring in these smaller movies, the public perception is changing. Everyone I spoke to from that point on went from, he's just that vampire dude in that Twilight movie, to, you need to put some respect on his name. And I think that's what's great, is seeing how the public is now changing their opinion on Robert Pattinson. And you'd think after Good Time, oh my gosh, he's landing some huge blockbuster roles. Well, not so fast. He then went on to do more niche films, smaller budget movies, one of them being High Life, a film that I do not like at all, but he gives the clear standout performance. However, he's yet to take another blockbuster role. And then after High Life, he then partners with A24 once again for The Lighthouse, a movie that was okay. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really care for it too much, but I recognize the excellent acting by not only Robert Pattinson, but also Willem Dafoe. And the thing is, Robert Pattinson, I think, might have done better than Willem in this movie, if not for the sheer lifelessness in his eyes throughout the entire film, and the way he grasped the emotional aspect of his performance and his character, it just had me floored, to be honest with you. The movie itself was not very good again, but I do think that he showed he can be on par with an excellent actor like Willem Dafoe. And then I started again to hear murmurs of him just changing his career around, and I've been trying to tell this to everyone and shout it from the mountaintops. But finally, this was the point where everyone started to give him the respect he deserved. And then as Robert Pattinson started to gain even more credibility among the film critics, I think the general audience was already pretty much a fan of his, but a lot of the hardcore critics were like, you gotta prove me wrong. And he did. And now, Robert Pattinson has been cast in Netflix's The Devil All the Time, starring Tom Holland and some awesome actors. He's in Christopher Nolan's Tenet, for goodness sakes. And then his biggest role to date, it might be his biggest role ever, Bruce Wayne in The Batman. Let me tell you guys, when I heard that he got cast as Bruce Wayne and Matt Reeves is the Batman, I thought to myself, he's the perfect choice, especially with this dark, brooding mentality that we've seen in the trailer that Bruce Wayne is gonna sort of inhibit throughout the entire course of the film. I think he's not only the best choice, but he might be the best Bruce Wayne that we get on screen. Now, I get it. I'm still a huge fan of Ben Affleck's Bruce Wayne and his Batman, but I think Robert Pattinson's going to bring a different approach to the character and add an emotional layer that I don't think we've ever seen before. But what continues to baffle me are people that still don't think he's going to kill it in this role. Here's the thing, and here's what I would say to those people. Go back and watch Good Time. Go back and watch The Lighthouse. Heck, even try to sit through The Lost City of Z. And let me tell you guys, all of those elements of acting are going to be present in The Batman. By the trailer alone, I just saw this despair in his eyes as Bruce Wayne. As Batman, I saw the frustration and the anger that we saw in The Lighthouse. So let me be honest with you guys, if you're still doubting Robert Pattinson, don't. Revisit some of the work he did in between the Twilight drought and then all the way up till, well, now. And if you do that, I promise you, you're gonna change your mind. Now, some people still say he looks a little too wimpy for this role as Bruce Wayne, but can I clarify something? This is young Bruce Wayne, year 2 Bruce Wayne, on a different Earth. That was confirmed during DC Fandom. So, guys, I think it's time to put some respect on Robert Pattinson's name. I don't think we've seen a transformation quite like this. And honestly, whether good or bad, people always knew him to be well known, and he used his star power to go ahead and take a break and star in these roles that were going to help him become a better actor, and all of that paved the way for the biggest role of his career in The Batman, a franchise that I think will spawn maybe 2, 3, 4 films possibly, and he's the best man for the job, and he might be the best Batman that we ever get. Alrighty guys, well thanks so much for listening to me talk about Robert Pattinson's evolution from Twilight to The Batman. If you want to see more videos just like this, go ahead and let me know in the comments below, and go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't already. And guys, we're so close to another milestone here at the channel, 2,000 subscribers, and it's all because of you, your love, and support. So if you haven't, go ahead and hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those bell notifications so you don't miss out on anything new. Alrighty guys, well hey, I'm gonna go work on some Legend of Korra reactions, get some movies in, and try to catch up on some TV. Again guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you at the next screening.